What's going on, guys? Inside Boss Barbell Club today, and I wanted to talk about stability. Now, oftentimes, a lot of our focus gets shifted more towards mobility. So we find inabilities to get in certain ranges of motions, and we think it's a mobility issue. There's a common misconception. Oftentimes, our body won't let us get into certain positions because of a lack of stability. And stability, by definition, is resisting against an external force. So often that's kind of inextricably linked with core. So core stability is a really common jargon term around the gym. People spend a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort buying like unstable surfaces, BOSU balls, shit like that, which basically make you good at unstable surface training. There's very little transfer of stability from those unstable surfaces. So when you have your feet planted on the floor. So our body works kind of like lightning. So it takes the path of least resistance. It doesn't take straight lines. So oftentimes we need to override or overcome that inherent internal need to work efficiently in order to actually become stable. We use stability to help transfer force in compound movement. So the squat is a perfect example. Now I'm going to show you the difference between a normal core exercise and a core exercise that will actually have a transfer over to stability. So hanging leg raises are very common, but very commonly they're done with more of an aesthetic stretch, contract cycle in mind. When we think of how we use our core when we squat, at no point are we attempting to flex the lumbar spine. We're trying to resist an external force on us from flexing our lumbar spine. So we can train that accordingly. So with the idea of transferring over to more compound movements like the squat. So the hanging leg raise is what I'll see a lot is people will kind of fold themselves in half. They'll kind of pike from the hips, trying to tuck the rib cage down and bring the pelvis underneath. But what you want to do from a stability standpoint is thinking of keeping that neutral lumbar spine. So the common mistake I see will look something like this, right? The hips travel backwards as the legs come up. But when we squat, we want to keep that neutral pelvis, keep that neutral lumbar spine. So we're going to kind of throw on some training wheels first to show you what this should look like. So this bar should be right top of the sacrum. So when I'm hanging here, I can't fold back. I can't drive my hips back. So what I'm going to try and do is just bring knees up and rotate like I would be doing in a squat, right? Just think of the ground moving up. So when I squat, I'm keeping this neutral torso, but I'm lowering down, externally rotating my hips. So avoid like long lever, avoid straight leg raises, because all that's going to do is tension your hamstrings and kind of retrovert your pelvis, cause your lumbar spine to start to flex. You want to keep lumbar spine in neutral. So once you've done a couple reps here, I want you to kind of ditch the training wheels, and now try and replicate that. So this is where stability comes into play. So remember, again, this is kind of where we started, this folding legs, toes to bar position. Now this is kind of the correction. So we're going to keep our torso forward and bring the knees up and rotate. So that's inducing stability, and that's transferable into more compound movement. So I want you to think of that next time you're in the gym.